What's up, guys? It's Megan, and I wanted to hop on here today and talk about the mentality of actually making changes, becoming a different person, and ultimately using that transformation to then implement into your training and nutrition to then yield you your dream physique, your dream body, and athletic, lean, strong physique. And in doing so, you're accomplishing that through the conquering of your mind and the conquering of yourself. And the quote that I want to highlight today is one that I saw the other day. It was somebody saying it's you versus you, and I'm sure that you've heard that quote before when you're comparing yourself to someone else, and it's like, oh, don't worry about them. Comparison's the thief of joy. It's you versus you. When you hear it is you versus you, I don't want you to think, oh, I just need to keep my head down and focus on myself. That's not what needs to click in your head when you hear it's you versus you. You need to understand that while it may be you versus you, the old you must die. Like, both of you guys can't exist in the same reality, right? You can't have the new you that has the life that you want, the body that you want, the circumstances that you want, while the old you still exists, because clearly the old you is incapable of achieving said things. Okay, it's like if 2 plus 2 equals 4, putting in more effort is not going to make it equal 5. Something within that equation needs to change. And when you apply that to your lifestyle, it means that something within you needs to change. Whatever habits that you have, the way that you think, the way that you resort to solve problems is clearly not solving the problem because you are frustrated with where you're currently at. And I'm assuming you're frustrated with where you're currently at because you've clicked on this video. So when you hear that it is you versus you, it's not, oh, I need to keep my head down and in my own lane and not worry about, what other people are doing because I'm on my own journey. No, it's you versus you, and one of you must die. Now, I saw that post on Instagram, and it really, really sparked thinking within myself and presenting it into a different perspective that ultimately helped me change. Because when I tried really, really hard and I put in a lot of effort to try to get results, and I felt like I was burning out, spinning my wheels, and I couldn't figure out why I wasn't getting where I wanted to be, even though it felt like I was trying so damn hard, it was because I was refusing to let go of my old self. And you may be like, Megan, what the fuck do you mean one of you has to die? What does that even mean? What is this metaphorical bullshit? How do you actually implement that? When you change and you are rewiring your brain to become the best version of yourself, which in turn will give you your dream physique, a lean, strong physique that shows that you have mental control, in that process of conquering that is where you are killing the old you, right? Maybe you have negative behaviors like binging, binge drinking, skipping the gym, self-sabotaging that you resort to when life gets tough. And like the literal implementation of killing the old you is experiencing a tough situation, a stressful day at work, something that would normally derail you, and telling yourself, I'm not going to resort to that self-sabotaging behavior, whatever the case may be for you. For me, it was binge eating. I am not going to do that, and it's going to be hard, it's going to be unfamiliar, and you are going to suffer, and you're going to have to learn how to endure without reaching for a crutch, without reaching for a Band-Aid. And like I said, that Band-Aid and that crutch for me was food, was binge eating. And in doing so, by refusing yourself the ability to go and reach for that to make the pain go away instantly and feel the guilt later, that suffering is what's killing the old you. It's rewiring your brain and your habits and the patterns that you have when faced with tough decisions to now being able to teach you how to endure and how to move forward, because ultimately the new you, the best version of you, can feel things, can experience tough points in life, stressful situations, and move forward without needing to slap a Band-Aid on it or a quick fix in the moment because you've learned how to handle it. And it's by forcing yourself to feel the stress, the pain, the negative emotions that cause majority of people to go and drink and eat and smoke and can't be sober. And in doing so and forcing yourself to endure that process and still move forward and make the right decisions, that suffering and that change is what is breaking down the old you and grinding you down to the bone to then allow you the space for the new you to enter and become that person, because you guys cannot coexist in the same world. Who you are right now is not somebody who is capable of what you want, clearly, because if it was, you would have it. And this was one of the hardest realizations that I had to go through. No matter how much I trained and how much I tried, it was never going to outrun my binge eating. It was never going to outrun the self-sabotage, the negative habits that I had, because I simply couldn't handle hard things. I couldn't handle the body dysmorphia. I couldn't handle the insecurity. I wasn't okay with being patient. I couldn't do it. And so what did I do? I tried to make myself feel better in the moment by binging, by going off track, by saying I could start tomorrow, by strategizing and planning and thinking about how I was going to do it, instead of just biting the bullet and accepting that it was going to be a long journey, that it was going to be a hard process. But in that long journey of not doing what previous me used to do was me allowing myself the space and the capacity to learn new habits that would then equal the physique that I wanted, the lifestyle that I wanted. Because if you guys know anything about me, and maybe you don't, I'm a coach who focuses on rewiring your brain so that how you live, your lifestyle, will always equal the dream physique, right? Because you can easily throw yourself into 12-week shred where you have an aggressive cut and you damn near starve yourself and you get shredded for the summer. But then those patterns of binge eating and all the things that you didn't sort out or figure out, and the old you didn't fully die, and so it comes back and it resurfaces and you fall back to where you started. So when you hear someone say it is you versus you, it is. But it is you killing the old you to allow space for the person that you want to be to come in. And it's not easy. Killing the old you is difficult. It requires suffering. It requires the ability to endure. It requires you to tell yourself, no, I'm not going to skip the gym even though I had a stressful day, or even though I might be tired, or I'm not going to go binge eat because I had a stressful day at work, or because there was an emotional situation that I couldn't handle, or because whatever it is that you're experiencing. And in doing that, you are suffering. It is painful. It is hard at the beginning. But when you rewire your way of thinking and the patterns that you resort to, you then learn how to be the person that can handle things, take it on the chin, and move forward, instead of being the person who crumbles at every little inconvenience that life throws at them, because life and your circumstances will never be perfect for you to be able to start. Life doesn't stop because you want to be the best version of yourself, and that's a good thing, because becoming the best version of yourself requires the challenges and the adversity of life to continue pushing you, and you stopping yourself from folding every single time. And in doing so, when you build up your mental fortitude and your mental strength, you increase the capacity of things that you can handle. And increasing that capacity is what allows you to build that body, build that physique, build that mind amidst the chaos of life. Because the chaos of life, no matter how much you try to mitigate stress, will not go away. But that is what makes the success, the good times, the peaks worth it, because you experience the endeavors of suffering and the, painful moments where you want nothing but to give up and to be instantly gratified in the moment because you are stressed in your journey, or you're in the thick of it, or you're in the middle of it and you don't know how to move forward because you've been working so hard but you haven't gotten the results yet, and it's just a long process and you haven't developed the ability to endure. That's what it's like. At the end of the day, it really is you versus you. However, it's your potential versus who you currently are. And like I said, if 2 + 2 = 4, it will never equal 5 no matter how hard you try. You have to change the numbers in the equation, and those numbers can look like your patterns, your mindset, your habits, a multitude of things that make up your lifestyle. And when you change those things, you get a different reality. But you cannot continuously be the same person with the same coping mechanisms, with the same stress management protocols, with the same mindset and outlook on life and expect things to change, because it won't. Whatever it is that you don't like, whatever it is that you're struggling with, if it is your appearance, if it is your mindset, if it is something about you that you wish was different, just know that it's inherently specific to you. There's something that you do every single day that is keeping you exactly where you are. So you can't keep hoping and thinking and just expecting something to change one day, because it won't. Nothing will change if you don't. And doing the same thing over and over again, don't hold me to this, whatever the quote is, it's insanity to do the same thing and repeat and repeat and repeat and expect a different result when it's been shown to you time and time again that the outcome will forever remain the same until you change, until you do the hard work of accepting, okay, it's going to be uncomfortable. I'm probably not going to want to do it. I'm probably not going to enjoy this. It's probably going to feel like a challenge. It's probably going to feel new to me. It's probably going to be, not the most enjoyable. But that's how it is when you make an initial change towards something that's going to be worth it. So when you're struggling and you can't figure out what you're doing wrong, look at you. Look in the mirror. Look at the things that you do when times get tough. Look at the way that you handle situations, because clearly something in that, something there is limiting you. And I hope this video is able to encourage you through a tough time. If you are struggling right now, just know that it is you versus you, and everything that you need to change is something that you can identify by the actions that you take daily. Let me remind you to keep moving forward, because rewiring your brain and becoming this new person does not happen overnight. However, you have to allow yourself the space for that new person to grow, for that new person to become. That is everything that I have for today. Keep going. Get after it. You got this. Don't forget how much I am rooting for you guys and how much I love you guys. As always, remember to have the courage to be uncomfortable, do hard shit, be confident, and keep fucking pushing yourself. I will see you guys in the next video.